mentoringme.com. My name is Michael Miller, and in this installment we're going to talk about a pretty common interview question, which is, what are your weaknesses? This is not only a fairly common question that's asked, it's also a pretty common question that candidates trip themselves up on. I think simply because they don't really know how to answer. Now, like most interviews and interview questions, it really starts with you understanding what the profile is of the person they're trying to hire, that ideal person that the company has decided that they want to hire for that position. So assuming you have a pretty good understanding of that, let me break down the successful answers, or the successful ways to answer this weakness question, into three categories. There's really three different ways that you could successfully answer this question. First one, I would say, would be to explain a weakness that used to be a weakness and you have overcome it to some extent. That would be something along the lines of, when I maybe first got into medicine, I wasn't very good with showing empathy to the patient, wasn't very good with the bedside manner, but my first manager explained to me that I'm able to get more pertinent information about the patient, how the patient is feeling, if I could get them to open up, and I learned the importance of building that relationship. It helped me become a better therapist or nurse or what have you. So within this category, you are showing yourself to be coachable. You're showing yourself to be someone that can self-improve. If you have worked on a skill that used to be a weakness and now it's either a strength or at least not a weakness, that's a very good way to answer that question. So I would just, before the interview, think about what that skill might be and be able to take the interviewer through an example of how you improved in a particular skill. Very successful way to answer the weakness question. Second category, I would say, would be something along the lines of a weakness that is actually a positive for the profile that they're trying to hire. It fits the profile. So in terms of going for a job that maybe requires that you have a sense of urgency to get things done, well, maybe you had a job where that was a weakness, and you explain, and what you learned from that experience, the other job that you had, was that it was not a fit for your personality because you like to get things done. Or perhaps the weakness is that you get easily bored. You like to have a lot of things going on at once. You enjoy multitasking. Well, if the profile that we're trying to hire is somebody that could easily multitask, might be a weakness, but in the eyes of the interviewer, it's actually a strength. So category 2 would be a weakness that for this job is actually a strength. Third category, I would put something along the lines of a non-essential weakness. So understanding the profile, you might have a particular weakness, because we all do, but the one that you choose to explain in the interview isn't all that important for this job. If you're interviewing for a job that requires you to be very detail-oriented, perhaps you're going to run clinical trials and you need to be exact in the work that you do, and it's somewhat self-contained, you work with teammates, but the weakness that you explain was that in a previous job you did not enjoy the constant customers coming up to you, and you weren't very good at dealing with their complaints or something. Well, if you're not going to be doing that in the job you're interviewing for, it's really not an essential skill Therefore, the weakness is not that big of a deal to the person interviewing you. So I understand a lot of candidates get tricked up on this question, but if you take a look at those three categories, number one, a weakness that is now either a positive or at least not a weakness. Number two, a weakness that for this job is actually a positive. And number three, a non-essential weakness for this job. If you take a look at your background and your experiences and find something that fits within those three categories, you'll be fine in the interview if this question comes up. I hope that is helpful. Good luck on your interview process. I hope you land your dream job. And as always, I asked you to share this and the other videos with your professional network. Good luck on your job search.